This morning I want to add a little perspective on the long-term drift in the Republican Party toward extremism, because it's bothered me that people think so much of this is connected to Trump, or that this is a recent phenomenon. It's really not. There are countless examples and issues I can bring up on this one, but one that stands out to me just this morning from what I was thinking about takes us back to 1964 and the campaign of Barry Goldwater. And during that, he had a tendency to shoot from the hip, speak honestly his own truths, and there's places where you can see, early versions of the kind of crap you see today from people always screaming virtue signaling and whatnot on the right, or woke culture. He pointed out that he thought people taking public assistance, welfare, whatever, were just stupid and lazy, and thought that the only reason he was criticized for that is that he said it, not that he believed it. He said that he talked to people about it and said, well, do you think it's true? And they said, well, of course it's true, but you just can't say that. It's not true. Or his comment that the Civil Rights Act would not have passed if you had actually locked the doors to the Senate and turned off the lights so that everyone was in the dark. That if that had happened, you wouldn't have gotten 25 senators to vote for it. The argument being that the only reason anybody could support giving actual rights to minorities in the U.S. is, virtue signaling, being seen publicly doing something that's just right. So this isn't recent. All these complaints about wokeness and political correctness and all the rest of this shit, all these complaints that people only do decent things like, stand up for basic human rights and dignity, is because they want to be seen as good people. What that's telling you is that the person saying it cannot imagine that anybody else has a morality different from theirs. They cannot imagine anyone else being a decent human being for its own sake. That's a real problem. The place we are today is far worse, of course, in many ways than it was in previous decades, largely because the numbers keep going up, and largely because the Democratic Party keeps getting worse and worse in its ability to deal with this stuff. But it's not new. The right in this country has been drifting into a kind of racist, neo-fascist demagoguery for much longer than I've been alive. And that's a real problem we have to deal with, because it's getting to a tipping point, and I'm getting more and more pessimistic about where we're headed. So there's my lovely, cheerful morning thought for you. Although in many ways probably easier to take than what I'm about to do in this morning class, because, oh boy, they're going to get a really tricky issue. So anyway, have a good day.